Okay.
Video showing the new Amiga.
Oh.
As they're calling it.
We all know Ken won't be here. He sent me an email that his wife's father was ill. There, he lives in, I think, mainland China somewhere. I don't know exactly where. So they're flying over there to offer what support they can or whatever. I don't know exactly what the problem is. Before we officially get started, or glasses or something. Okay, where'd the mouse go? This is my screen mode. But what I'm trying to figure out is why overscan doesn't work. Why edit and edit those two are grayed out.
This is using Picasso 96, and you have to adjust Picasso 96 through its own screen. That's that screen that comes up with the black with little lines on it and the color bars in the middle. And you sit there and adjust it until you get the way you just want to look, and then that becomes a. Oh, I forgot. There's some kind of key press I remember you had to do.
Oh, that's the P96.
Yes, Picasso 96.
Right, okay. But, okay, all well and good.
Yeah, well, I know. You remember the test thing? You could click on one and it'd be like test or something.
Yeah, in screen mode, yeah.
And that's how you adjust it. Yeah, there's a test, yeah.
Test, okay.
That's not the thing I was looking for. But that's close. But there is another screen. Let's see. Screen mode. Is there a Picasso 96? Yeah, there's Picasso 96 mode. Third row. Third one over. The icons.
Excuse me?
Picasso 96 mode.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Let's see. You have to load one in or something. Right click is just so it comes down to the top or something. Open setting. Load. Tab.
Do something here. Yeah.
I think we can adjust it here. Let's try this one.
Try which one?
Oh, look on it. Bring it forward. All right. Uncheck it. You trying to make it fit the screen better? What you want to do? You want to make it fit the
Yes,
screen better?
yes. I want to make it. I want to make it
All right, so
here. What I'm trying to do is lower.
don't turn that one off too.
Okay. I need a bigger mouse. Easier to see. Okay.
And then so you could adjust the height right there. That's 716. There's a little arrows.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And hit test and you get some arrows so you see what it looks like. See if that, yeah, a little more to go, maybe just a little bit.
Well, I can click use from here, couldn't I?
Yeah, if that's what you want to use. I might go a little further.
Oh,
See, now you gotta close all these windows. I won't, so reset.
okay.
You can close that one.
Okay, but
Yeah, we don't need that one either.
oh,
You can close that window. We should reset. Except you probably have your, this little thing here is be turned off too.
but no,
Well,
is it gonna do it if it?
okay, we got all these windows closed.
Okay.
Let's put in that one up there.
Oh, this one?
And click on this. Click, just click. And go up there. Right click.
On.
There we go, now the backdrop. Now close that one. You gotta close all these windows. Yeah, nothing can be open. If I close that even.
How do you close that one?
I think there's a thing on the sides of there. Yeah.
Oh.
It popped up and disappeared.
So, what's that one at the bottom?
Tools.
Tools. I don't want either one of those.
See. Actually, turn off the Amy duck.
Well, okay, but,
Who's going to do it?
oh, there's Amy Doc, okay, yes.
Mhm.
So maybe can what if I do that?
Yeah. If I click on this little bar part right here,
Okay.
and we come up here, there should be something up here we can turn it off. And maybe. Amy duck, quit.
Oh. Okay.
Let's see. Let's see anything else. Let's try and do that thing again with the set the size.
Yes. Where's the screen?
Go ahead and close that window so we don't have to worry about it. All right.
And listen to there. Okay. Now.
The test again. Let's just look at it. See, it's just a little bit more we thought it could go, but that's all right. it resets.
Okay, so.
So you have to have all these windows closed before you can do that,
But
get it to reset. And you still probably can go a little smaller, probably just a little bit more.
where's the thing I normally see over here about the little corner gadget for this screen to drag? You know what I'm talking about?
Well, it's not a window anymore. You have to come back up here and turn the window back on.
Oh,
Turn it off, backdrop.
backdrop, okay.
And we took it out of the window.
Oh,
There's the draggy
okay,
thing.
there, okay, thank you. Okay,
See, it's about right. You about got it about perfect. Just maybe up maybe another little couple pixels, but other than that, it's fine.
okay.
Close that, put it back to backdrop.
I wanna,
Try 748 or 740. The width looks about perfect.
Squeeze it down. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that resolution at all. It'll time out.
Yeah. Okay, so.
That'll work.
Okay.
Okay, just a little bit too narrow because you got.
Well, I don't mind having a little bit of extra room over there.
No, that's just space I can use.
Okay. Nifty, thank you. Having done that, let's try this then. I'm sure glad you're here to help me. Okay, where is glasses, damn it.
Well, they move this table back. We can slide it back forward up there if you want.
Well, it's okay.
You can even set your stuff over here on this little desk thing. You can set your stuff on the desk thing.
I guess. I think when I do that,
You know, it's got adjustments there. You can use.
yeah, I know, but when I try to, where is screen?
Yeah, there's one I was used to seeing all the time.
Okay, but okay. Overscan. We normally click on this, right?
You chose the upper one and the lower one. I always did both, so it'd be right. But yeah, click on that one and see what happens.
This is what happens.
Verbal being count.
We got this last week, or last month, and I think we've kind of finally figured out what
Yeah, I wonder if that.
But and to the best of my knowledge, I have not changed anything since last month, and it's not working anymore. I think
Monitors.
no, it was something in. There we go.
It's grayed out.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Well, fix that, I guess I had. Okay. I finally read the installation instructions for 314, and it talked about fine, that for whatever reason it's not in there anymore. Hello.
Commodore Club?
Yes, this is it. Come on in.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, excuse me. I don't see any Commodores in here.
Yeah, not the moment.
It's sort of a Commodore.
We've had quite a few here sometimes.
So how are y'all?
All right, you?
Good.
My name's Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. I'm Gary.
Ned.
Yes, I'm Ned.
Ned. Very nice to meet
This is
you.
Bill.
Yes,
I've
Gary.
seen you before, haven't I? Around?
Possibly. I mean, I live in Burleson, but
Oh.
Hi.
Okay.
did one of you used to run Commodore Country
No,
years ago?
no,
Yeah.
but I went to it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just happened to see this come up on my, email, and it was like, oh, hey. That's kind of cool. So is this the first, or y'all meet regularly, or is
Every
this
month.
every month? Okay, well that's the first I'd seen of it. So
Yeah, first 30 years, I guess.
okay,
That's 35 years.
35, yeah.
Yeah.
84.
83.
83, yeah.
so did y'all get the Commodore Mini that was just released?
Not yet.
I should have brought it with me. I got that one, and then they're supposed to be doing a new 64. They're redoing the 64. So where does this y'all lean more towards, the Amiga or anything Commodore, or?
Yeah, probably. We do all kinds of computer stuff now, but
okay.
Amiga was the main thing for us for a long time.
Oh, right.
This is a Raspberry Pi running the Amiga stuff.
Is it? All right. I have not. I need to try that. I got some pies laying around. I need to put it on there.
Oh yeah, it's fast and does it good.
Yeah. So is it easy to get the workbench for it?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
to find it?
Mhm.
And
Some people buy, there's a package out there called Amiga Forever, and it has everything
Right.
you need in it. And
Okay.
I've got one I've had it 25 years, and it worked just fine. So.
do you know if you guys able to get the toaster stuff working on it, or
That I would think would be tough because you get that big box,
Right.
or that big card, I should say. With all
But I
that
should say
stuff.
now, it should be, I mean, I'm sure the Pi does a lot more than that thing ever did. So.
Made it, huh?
I made it. Yep. This time.
All right.
I'm good.
I'm Gary.
Gary, nice to meet you,
Mark,
Mark.
nice to meet you. This first I'd heard of it. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I live in Burleson. I like Commodore. Go
Uh-huh.
check it out.
That's good.
So,
Thanks for
One
coming.
of our members lives here in Burleson. He's the one that got this room set up for us. And
okay.
he could just practice move north of here.
Right. Okay. Well, if there's a newsletter or anything. be sure-
Yes, we do have a
Or a
newsletter. Yeah.
Facebook page or anything.
We got a whole website.
Yeah.
It's got all our newsletters on it and got files and information.
Cool.
You try to find something.
No, I'm copying.
Oh, you're trying to make that.
I
search.
have running on this thing OS 3.9.
Mm-hmm.
A new version of OS came out not long ago, OS 3.14. You've heard about that?
I have not. No.
Okay.
That's brand new.
Oh, really?
Brand new big old operating system.
Wow. Wow. I said, who's doing that? Is that?
The people, the Hyperion people who got the rights to do it, they're the ones who released. Of course, it's already caused controversy because they were supposed to do anything with 3.9 and 4.0 and 4.1. And
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now. Okay. Now,
so blacked out.
why is that grayed out?
You have to reboot it and put all it in.
I would think so. But this right here is the Linux operating system that Raspberry Pi boots off of. Open up a terminal program, that little command in there called UAE, which calls up the UAE emulator. And from here you pick various configurations for Amiga of various configurations. You need to load it and you need to tell it which ROM to use. There, and then tell it to start. And the emulator boots up.
It's been a while. I'll have to get reacclimated.
Okay, now, okay, I've just rebooted now. There is.
There you go. That's done.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. See the fine thing showing up. It returned to any startup sequence. Must have had a.
oh, do I have that in there? Maybe I do.
Oh no, he's trying to get he's trying to get that fine thing. It's this black blood. He had all things in it. It turned the start sequence to be complete while now.
Hang on. Let's try something else. I'm sorry.
Is it always the second Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
This is our third meeting here this year. We started here in November. Used to meet at a place in Grand Prairie. And they decided they want to charge us way too much money.
Oh, okay. That may be why I just now started hearing about it then. All right, yeah.
Yeah, this flyer said they promote us and everything. So,
Okay, let's try this one for more people. If you would like, you got an email address?
I sure do.
Why don't you give me your email address and your name on there, and I'll add you to the distribution list, which I send out, reminding everybody about the meeting, etc.
obviously change it because all I know is ghosted out. Now at least it's.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to run the find command.
There's a fine thing on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
It's been ghosted out to install this. So
Installed what? 3.9 or
no,
This is 314.
3.14? Yeah. Saw a video about that. Fine.
I don't know. Heavens. I'm at a loss here.
Find something simple you missed.
Yes, I'll have to go back and read the documentation again. Victory documentation.
Did you install 3.1.4 over your old stuff?
No,
Or did
yeah,
you do a fresh install?
Fresh install, yeah.
Okay.
You can do that right, Brent. Right.
Right. Well, it's different versions. Yeah, you can do it all sorts of different ways. Yeah.
Would you like to watch that?
Well,
Okay.
I think it's back to Linux. Let's see.
What are we fixing to watch here?
Well, they've just are releasing what is many are calling the new Amiga.
Okay.
And this is why I'm using the this.
What is that crazy little icon?
This is Arctic Fox.
What?
Arctic Fox. But that's what I really want. Let's see. That's a Wolfram. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, this is here. Yeah. There we go. It is a Is that phone still plugged in?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. There you go.
This is a very first starting up of it.
Okay, boys and girls, today is a great day. Today is the day that Amiga
That's it, go right there, this little card there.
F reborn. Is reborn. I don't know. I don't care. What I know is that the vampire before is now officially stand alone. Let's check it. Let's check it. There you go. There you go. Amiga reborn. Completely standalone. Externally powered. Where is my CF card? Let's try to boot to workbench. Not easy.
Try to hold the camera into it too.
Right.
Okay. That's right. Let's try it.
What is that? You plug in a compact format?
Yeah, come back flash card. Yeah.
We have still some issues. ID reading still a bit slow, but there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Amiga reborn.
I wonder why I compact one.
Oh, nice to tell you, I like the, this thing runs off a little micro SD card. Let's see. Shoot. Well, here it is after a little more work and
All right, guys, welcome back to the Westchester Review Group. Thanks for coming out today. It's been like raining cats and dogs. Like only the strong survive today. This is true hardcore. This is the heart for the hardcore peeps. And today I want to welcome back Manny from the Apollo team. You, as you might remember, there's two great videos on our channel with Manny giving a demo of the vampire, and the vampire's evolved since that meeting. And Manny's going to show us what's new. Today he's got a vampire review with us. I think you can tell us, but I think the big takeaway is you can now do immediate graphics over HDMI.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So as we promised last time, the big thing we could do forward is do the AGA over HDMI. So the V4 is not good. It's 500. It's shipped out to team members that have the 22. So there's progress being made. So I thought it was a good idea to show you things maybe when you see that there's a little progress being made.
I'm super excited about it. This day's gonna be more of a workshop. No PowerPoint day with that.
Yeah, no PowerPoint.
All right, let's get going.
Sure. So the Vampire is it's an accelerator essentially. Back in the day, we had a accelerator. If you're Mr. Moneybags, you would get a 0.6 accelerator. But if you're an average Joe, you can get a Vampire accelerator. So it does a few things. It gives you faster speed. It gives you not ADA. We're working on that. It gives you 16-bit sound, which you never really had. It really up the game in the movie graphics, and sound, and speed and velocity with a good degree of compatibility. Really good as a goal. So it's an accelerator that plugs into the machine right now. So the 500 never had AGA. This is doing AGA graphics. So here's an install I did. Just talk a little bit about the setup. This is standard Amiga 500, right? Literally untouched from back in the day. And I can show you what's under the hood. All right. So I'll lift this up. Okay, there's the Vampire. You see, it sits inside the CPU socket. So the CPU socket is there. There's the FPGA. So that one chip has recreations of all the AGA chips plus the processor.
Are the AGA graphics emulated, or are they running on a chip?
So it's not emulation, right? So emulation is where you have software running the hardware, and you need a really fast processor to run all the AGA chips in parallel. In this case here, the AGA chips are re-implemented. They're actually written using modern software technology that produces a hardware replica of the chip that then runs in the chip that's designed to recreate hardware. And so what you do is you can get multiple instances of the chip running at maximum speed. You're not dependent on one master processor that sets the timing for everything. Each chip recreated on the FPGA runs at the maximum speed possible. So it's a step closer than emulation. Right? It has a newly designed processor called the 68080 based on all previous versions of the NVIDIA processors with all the best features and quirks that have been eliminated or improved in an effort to get a more stable processor. So it changes from last time. We still have the SD card. We've got the JTAG connector for programming the actual FPGA. Of course, HDMI is there. We've got USB ports now, and we've got Ethernet. Those are in the process of doing drivers for those. And as you see here, we have expansion headers. So you can use expansion headers like what was done on the V500 Plus. It actually had some headers, and the hope is to put additional USB and additional networking connectors and that sort of stuff. So yeah, built for expansion. It's also got the standard IDE bus, desktop bus there. And it's yeah, pretty neat. So a few more connectors, bigger FPGA. This is the C5 class FPGA instead of C3. So it's designed to do a little bit more. It's got more transistors like we did last time. So all the specs that we covered.
And right now, that's just plugged right into the 68,000.
Plug right into the socket. This is a revision 5 board. I tested it in revision 8A, 6A, and this revision 5.
So you removed the 68,000 processor and put the Vampire in.
Yeah, on the 6A, because of the layout of the board, the Vampire kind of touches the Paula. So what I did is I got some headers, some pin extenders that actually raise up the board a little bit. So I've been kind of seeing where it fits and where it doesn't. And I have a bunch of these boards at home, so it's pretty easy to kind of check that out. But in terms of stability, the pins, they really did a good job of instrument engineering. They did a good job selecting the pins. So I've inserted it and reinserted it about a dozen times now without any fear of the pins going boink and disappearing forever. So that's pretty neat, right? But I found that putting them in the riser pins is another bit of extra set of security to keep things from broken. So it relieves the stress off the pins on the actual board. It's also got a full IDE bus, desktop bus IDE. That's in there right now, not working. So right now we only have the laptop bus working, but you see I was able to complete it. So we have the Vampire here. The CD-ROM stuff you see is connected to the laptop style header here. So here's the laptop IDE. We have a desktop IDE bus. It's not enabled right now on this particular model. But in this prototype form, we have the laptop IDE bus. And that is connected to this cable. So the cable is then connected to a laptop IDE to CF card adapter, routed to a laptop to desktop connect to the CD-ROM. The CD-ROM gets its power externally from a Molex power adapter to an AC power adapter that you would have for those interfaces that you can get that would connect a desktop IDE drive to a USB port. So I just took that to power the CD-ROM drive. I have to turn the CD-ROM drive on before turning on the Amiga, so the IDE bus on the CD-ROM has to be turned on. And then the audio is routed to another set of speakers, right? So behind the monitor, I have a smaller set of speakers.
So you're just taking like literally the headphone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
HDMI going straight out to a scaler. It's not really doing any scaling. The scaling is so that I can pull the HDMI audio out and feed it a couple speakers. So in this demonstration I'm doing here, we're going to run CD32 games off of the CD-ROM drive. Right? This is not a CD32, obviously. So the AGA chips are on here, they're on the FPGA, and we're going to be able to do the AGA games using an IDE solution and using a CD32 emulator that shipped with an IDE card called IDE Fix. It actually had a CD32 emulator. Designed to take a 4000 or a 1200 fitted with a CD-ROM drive and make it play CD32 games. The video output from the Vampire is coming here. It's coming to the input.
So the new Vampire, the V4 result today, has got HDMI out.
Yeah. And that HDMI output is coming into this splitter. Now, I'm not particularly combining the start signal with the HDMI. What I'm doing is I'm using the converter to actually split the HDMI video and audio the way you see here.
So you're separating the audio out.
Yeah. So the video is then routed to the input of the monitor, and the audio is then routed to another set of speakers, which gives us the Pamela or Paula audio.
So Amiga sound comes out of the HDMI, and then CD sound comes right out of the CD drive.
Yeah. So this is working on Vampire 4, but it'll work in a Vampire 2. Cotter did it on his Vampire 2 set, which has 2000, so it'll work on that as well. I just thought it would be cool to show how far along V4 is and do this on the V4.
Does the side expansion ports?
So does the slap on the side expansion port still work? No. So that goes also to all the lines in the CPU, And it's just like back in the day when you had an Amiga expansion, right? Could you put an expansion on the CPU and then use a side from the side expansion?
I believe you could.
If it was
With
RAM, right?
well, I think it was only one RAM board, the Insider. I think if you did put an accelerator, you could still use the side expansion
Like a
for
super
things
up.
like the hard drive controllers and RAM expansions as well. Though you probably wouldn't want to use a RAM expansion on it, because it would still be 16 plus.
Yeah, I would say no, because this is it is a RAM expansion. It's doing a lot of stuff. I'll look into that. I think there's one guy in the group that has like a GBP on the side. I'm not sure. I have to check. An actual developers or testing group that we have, the Apollo team. But I would advise against it. I think the answer to that is no.
Well, yeah, the biggest question is, would you really even need it at that point when you have the Vampire in there, which has RAM, which has processor? But now getting back to the processor, an 80 is not something anyone who knows Motorola processors would probably have ever heard of.
Right. So an 8080 is going to attempt to correct mistakes made in the past. The Motorola range of processors, right? So hindsight is everything. What he's doing is looking at the mistakes made, looking at the shortcomings, and looking at developments that happen in the processor design industry, and adding those features and correcting those mistakes. So you see things like AMMX, which is an Amiga implementation of the MMX type standard, which gives us multimedia type processes that you really couldn't do in the DSP type functions, right? And we covered that in the last video. So when you look at the Neo Geo emulators, right, that's using AMMX to do things like the sound chips and a lot of the hardware that exists in that equipment, right? So you get performance that goes beyond, say, an 060 era, and it starts to go. It behaves like a machine that's a faster clock speed, essentially, because of the AMX functions. And there's a lot of things going on with the way the RAM is timed and the speed of the RAM that make the system faster.
Quick poll, how creepy is it when this microphone starts approaching your face? You know,
It's like a probe.
you know how tempting it is just to give a little nudge.
Right, so what I've done here, I've done a really quick Amiga install, so some of the assigns aren't right. But I'm having it boot to a bare bones workbench here, and I'm just going to go here and set up the IDE stuff. So I installed IDE Fix 97, and so I installed it onto the programs folder. And so for this to work, I didn't put too much work into this. So what you need to do is just run this utility. It's called Find Device, so it's going to scan the IDE bus and look for any valid CD-ROM drives. So, of course, let me give the IDE device is called SCSI. It shows up right there, Unit 1. So you have to use and then go to the CD32 emulator folder. And so I have, back in the day when I copied my originals back in the day, when hell. But there's my CD32, Super Stardust, and you start this emulator. And so it has a bunch of things you can do here. You can disable fast RAM, instruction cache, all the rest of it. You can force double speed CD-ROM because the CD32 did have a double speed CD-ROM. But I tested this game, I did my homework, and this works pretty well without any of those modifications.
The reason for the options, of course, is because the CD32 didn't come with fast mem, came with I think it's the same EC030 that the 1200 had. So a lot of games are written not expecting fast mem, not expecting faster processors, so that emulation software gave you the option to turn certain things off if the game had trouble with them.
Those extra features come because of the Vampire?
They come actually, I mean, this software predated the Vampire. This came because the Amiga itself that you might be running it on, a 4000 has an 040 potentially. The 1200 might have an accelerator and extra fast mem. It's just, it was a factor of the times that CD32 really didn't have those options, and a lot of games didn't expect them.
So is this utility necessary to?
You can't just like install a CD-ROM driver. What it's doing some things under the hood to make it actually try to be a CD32. So what you're going to see here, it's important to note, to preface what we're doing here, you're going to see an AGA game on a 500 that's totally running off the FPGA. So everything you see here, the AGA graphics, the sound is no longer a Paula sound, it's something called Pamela sound. So it's, I believe, 8-channel 16-bit scaled up. So it's coming through the HDMI. I have it going to a breakout box and that takes it to the speakers. The only thing that the Amiga is really doing is the inputs for the disk drive. The disk drive still works. And the inputs for the controllers. That's it. Everything pretty much is, the rest of that's being done with Apple. So they're on the road to getting the standalone thing going The bring up happens a little bit at a time. But this is a pretty major milestone here. To have the AGA and all the rest including here.
CD30.
I've never seen this opening before. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, even for the time I was looking at the other day in retrospect, it's pretty decent. So here's the CD audio. So in this game, when the title screens, vehicle selection screens, it bounces back to CD audio. Button presses are all audio, and it overlays it, which is pretty neat. I think this is like the best level selection music ever. No, this is CD. Yeah. So yeah, you see CD audio plus the Paula stuff.
So it's mixing the CD32 and the Paula.
Yeah.
So that the gunshots are the Paula.
So the gunshots, explosions are Paula, and then the CD audio is just a track. Like when you burn the CD, you actually see a separate CD audio track there that gets put to the disc.
So I guess the opening scene is something unique to the CD32 version. So I've got Super Stardust, like AGA on my 1200.
Yeah,
I've never
just,
seen the opening.
I mean, the copies, they just don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
So this developer did a really good job of, it's an Amiga game, but still has all the nice, dot the I's right, cross the T's correctly, and it looks nice, professional, and it's not in your face, and it enhances the game. It's a good experience. How do you reset this? So after it boots the CD32, it's a CD32 now. What do you need to do on a CD32 to play another game? You lift the lid that resets the machine, you put in another game. So here we're going to do the Amiga reset. Let's see, so now I'm going to change game.
Why does the workbench have to be full color?
So for this game, it uses a lot of chip RAM. So this, right now the AGA core is set to 2 megs chip RAM. They've done other cores with 4 megs chip RAM. But I guess for compatibility, they're doing a 2 megs chip first. So you have a variety of controls to let you turn the fast on and off. I think for this, I'm gonna commit my settings to memory. So I think I can boot it just by forcing 2 double speed.
Or that's the CD drive.
Yeah. So this is like it's not even a CD-ROM, it's like a DVD-RW or CD-RW. So yeah, because it's not a CD32, it's just using an IDE Fix 97 emulator that apparently came with it. So it was designed to take a 1200 or 4000 with a CD-ROM drive and run those games. So full audio. I just got to remember how to play this.
Looks like a Lotus 2 type of game. Yeah.
It's very Super Nintendo-y. Or wannabe Super Nintendo-y. So things you get in this sort of game, like typical racing games on Amiga did not have, some of them would just have either music or car sounds, right? Because of chip RAM limitations. So when you move into the CD territory, you get both, right? You get the CD audio track, they'll use the both.
So man, you said that's a regular DVD-R, so you can use pretty much any CD-ROM or DVD.
Yeah, it's actually a CD-RW. Yeah,
it's a CD-RW. So you don't need a special drive to work with the Vampire. You can just. Yeah,
I just got I have a box full of CD-ROMs through the ages at my house, and I just went through the box. So DVD-RWs didn't work, but anything CD related worked.
And it's just a regular IDE.
Yeah. Let's look at the TV app. Will it play? So I've never played it on here. I wonder if CD XL will work with a Vampire. Should I have force double speed? Oh, that's not commercial. Too much power.
What resolution are you running it in?
So this is what the CD resolution is. Whatever the resolution CD put out, CD32 put out, is what you see here. So the box upscales it to like 576p so that it can show on the monitor, right?
Here is the evening news. It is reported that 59 arrests were made today and 13 Securico agents injured in violent clashes at the 2-month-old pickets of Alpha Detention Center. Speaking from the center, a spokesman from the Free Just and Now campaign told our reporter that a gross miscarriage of justice had been perpetrated against an innocent man. The Securico captain on the scene, however. Those checks up to now. 64.
I'm surprised the color is as compressed as it is. It seems at times that there not really isn't its full 256 colors. It's
What you're seeing is because it's the upscale is a common thing with LCDs, or some magic that happens in the CRT, right? Like the resolution that it's intended to be. When you take it here, you're taking those pixels, you're making them massive, much bigger than they ever were supposed to be on screen, and they're being stretched because it's widescreen. So there's a couple of things happening that don't make it look as good as it was originally intended to be. That's why a lot of folks love CRTs, right? They love that CRT look.
Gentlemen, say hello to the good doctor. Nobody else was supposed to be here. Security could easily have noticed them without my verification. Look, stop complaining and get on with the job at hand. Then we can all go back to Axiom.
All these games had like a cyberpunky Total Recall vibe back then too.
So doing these games, I would see the adverts in magazines or promotions, and I thought like in game, this is what you get. But then it was really they were all full motion video sequences and they're storytelling. That was the whole problem with early CD-ROM systems. So this is this is a good what if. What if all the games look like this? What if it was a good integration of CD audio, full audio, and all the rest of it? It's really nice.
So this is a CD32 game. We're not doing like a Neo Geo type emulation.
No. This is one of them. So by this point, I knew the artist's name for this. He's a really good artist. He went on to do work for Game Boy Advance and a lot of the later Pixel 2D platforms. Amazing artist.
It's gorgeous. It looks like Hank Newborn's work.
Yeah. I mean, I do 3D, and I just want to sit and do that with a house in 3D. So this game is funny. When back in the day, Disposable Hero, I thought it was an AGA game. It turns out it's an ECS game.
Yeah, it's amazing. Games like Lionheart, like that Hank Newborn did the artwork for, like they look like AGA games, but they're ECS. I'm not familiar with it. Their talents of this.
Yeah, expert palette management.
I remember this being on the cover disc of the format on the demo disc. That blew me away.
Who wants to try? Anybody? Don't be shy. So, this stuff is so old, and I don't want to break anything.
I wish you had a bomb.
Try the other buttons, maybe you do.
Yeah, I did. Right now I only have about Autofire, which is great for my old man fingers. Autofire is the key. When I play these games today, my finger goes kaput really quick.
So I'm going to turn off the machine. I'm going to hook up my CF card with the standard AJ stuff. You do some WHD load games. So some of these games are tuned to work only with RTG. So if you want to do WHD load, I would just suggest going here.
Manny, could you explain the difference between the Amiga graphics and RTG for folks?
So when you're talking about Amiga graphics, that means you're accessing an onboard chipset designed by Commodore, either the ECS, OCS, original chipset, enhanced chipset, or an AGA, Advanced Graphics Architecture, or AA Graphics Architecture. Those are chips that are designed by Commodore and they're actually on the actual board. When you talk about RTG, that's Commodore's implementation of like the VGA style graphics card, where it's a dedicated chipset on a card, and you can open up a screen, and that screen can open up on whatever graphics card that you have available, right? So when you retarget your screen to a graphics card, you're not limited with resolution. A graphics card typically have lots more color depth, a lot more resolution, so you get better performance. And just because of the way the graphics card is designed, if you're doing something called chunky pixels, where you're doing PC style graphic where pixels are squared, and you're doing things like first-person shooters, the RTG graphics card is better for that because the ECS and the OCS graphics chipsets, those were designed for television displays, which have the planar chipsets, the planar graphics, which is rectangular type pixel, and it's not as well tuned to do that PC Doom type tune, right? So that's where you want to actually have the RTG graphics, right? When you come into the setup, things like Doom, Quake, Rise of the Triad, any sort of PC game, that is designed to run on RTG, right? But because of the way Commodore designed AA, as kind of a stopgap measure to kind of give us something before we went to RTG, you can open up a screen that'll play back those same resolution files. The performance isn't great. But you saw here, the way the AGA is implemented here, it's actually, you don't notice it too much, right? It looks pretty fast. But you can't really tell you're doing it. The core is actually running at X14, which is 14 times the speed of the original Amiga 500, which is 760 megahertz. So that equates to like 114 megahertz if you use an international tool, which is pretty neat.
So before you were running in CD32 mode, and you had a CD32 controller hooked up to an Amiga 500, and that's hooked up to the standard 9-pin port. But the CD32 has got more than the traditional, one button layout. So do all those buttons work?
Yeah, they all work just fine. So yeah, that emulator, just like WHD, it picks up the signals from the extra signals that the CD32 controller has, and is able to integrate that into the emulation.
That's awesome.
And the Amiga implementation of the 9-pin joystick core actually could always handle multiple buttons, unlike the old Atari, but because of the fact that it mostly used old Atari joysticks that only had one button, so you rarely had games that supported them until things like the CD32 came out.
Yeah, baby.
So yeah, now this is 600 by 200. It's not the full high res because the way the flickering works right now, it's not working 100%. You would see either odd or even frames, and it doesn't look too clean. Or actually tries to handle this. It doesn't. Bottom line, it doesn't look good. So we're running it 600 by 200, 256 colors. So yeah, I mean.
So now in this first version of the Vampire V4, it doesn't do interlace, so you can do like 640 by 200, but you want to do 640 by 400, that's not there yet. But that's something obviously they're going to work on and implement in the future for the Vampire. So is this a WHD load version of Doom?
Yeah, so what it does here, it recognizes all the Vampire graphics modes, which are lots of them. Under the PAL low res. There we go. So, I mean, no matter how fast Vampire is, this is topped out at 35 frames. And remember, this isn't RTG, this is AGA.
Never thought I'd see Doom on Amiga 500.
Running AGA.
Yeah, AGA. So theoretically, like any AGA or OCS WHD load game should just work with this.
In theory, yeah. So there's a lot of them don't. I shouldn't say a lot. Some don't. In my personal experience, it's about 75–80%. Out of that 75–80%, some have glitches, some don't. But this is PC style graphics, so anything that can work on the screen, AGA type screen, RTG screen will work.
So now, obviously, all these games are running off the compact flash card, no more CD-ROM drive.
Yeah.
No longer CD32 emulation.
Yeah. And you can just, if you have your stack of games, you can install OS 3.9 and install this yourself. You don't have to use any of the distributions out there. I've done that myself. Well before I was on the Vampire team per se, I had that going. Let's close this out.
Yeah, on my 1200, I just have a bunch of WHD load games and a directory on my compact flash hard drive, and away I go. And now I can do it on the 500 with the
So let's look at, so.
That's awesome.
You know what letter I'm going to? Do you not know?
W?
You know it.
I know you.
And there's Walker. Here we go.
Oh, Walker works great on this.
Oh, the killing starts. Oh, do it to it. Oh, yeah. Fucking trash.
Of course, the irony here is that Walker isn't OCS game, so you don't really need a vampire. But he's playing it off WHD load, so.
And, yeah, the game's coming off of the Vampire chipset too.
Oh, cool. That's a neat twist on it, for sure. When I played Walker on my 500, I would use either floppies or I would use the GoTech. But now you can just do it right off WHD load.
What's the GoTech you're referring to?
The GoTech is a floppy drive emulator, so you can load floppy disk images onto a USB stick, and it replaces your floppy drive. It plugs in exactly where your actual floppy drive plugs in. And it's got buttons, so you can like insert a new image file, so you can one disk at a time. All right, Manny, thanks again for coming to WOG. It's always a pleasure to have you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
It was good to do this, and
Thank
hopefully we do it again.
Hey, guys.
Meet you forever.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Food Meditation. Sweet.
Yeah. Seriously, thanks for everyone for coming. We'll test out Wilson. You'll stand there and look beautiful. I don't know if you saw the last video, but I just did a little.
I don't watch it too.
So he was saying that the Vampire just uses the Amiga 500 for
that's the one he showed running by itself. So.
the disk drive. So why can't you just make a standalone Vampire?
Well, that's what it was. That's what that first video showed.
Yeah, that's what's basically.
That's what they're offering now, a standalone
Vampire
machine that you can put as an accelerator.
So was that a Vampire standalone? That standalone machine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was.
Okay. See, they're offering it where you could use it as a standalone or as an accelerator for existing Amigas.
Yeah, standalone I think would be.
Yeah, I know. That's why that was exciting to just see it by itself.
Standalone would be much better.
Yeah. I don't know if he did. I know they want to sell it to the Amiga people for accelerators. But.
Yeah, I know. That's why it just seemed like, the Amiga is just, I don't know, they're doing it more for copyright maybe or something? Or
I mean, I don't know. I do not know if it will handle floppy drives, and that would be. That's
you got a GoTech or something like you were saying.
Well, I was saying, you don't need a floppy drive to stay.
Right. No. And you've got some sort of adapter maybe to use Amiga joysticks or something. I don't know.
Well, it does have it has two 9-pin connectors on it.
Okay. Maybe I missed that.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, it has two 9-pin connectors, two USB ports. Of course, the HDMI.
You're talking about the standalone or okay. Because I know they had headers on the one he was showing in the second video.
Yeah, it has two. It has two DB9 connectors.
Okay.
And
that's
a
good way to go.
And I think he said it had Ethernet on it.
Ethernet, yes. Ethernet, HDMI, micro SD.
Does it have Wi-Fi on it and wireless?
Yeah, I don't think I remember which one it is. Well, it's got the 40-pin and the 44-pin ID connector.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's got the little headers for all the other stuff plugged in.
When did that first video come out?
The first one was like in August. I think that one there was.
That was in August, yeah, that one said August. The second one. The first one I wasn't sure, because I really hadn't heard about a standalone vampire.
Right. So I went and checked. There were a few articles on it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody's the big thing is how much is it going to be? The only price that's probably popped up that I saw was €300.
Well, what is the I think the regular vampire, I don't know if it's a 2 or 4.
Yeah, the 2. That was a 4.
I thought it was like, I was just looking at the site, I thought it was like 3 or 239 euros, I think. I was looking at I watched a video a couple days ago about a ACA 500 plus, and you plug into a 500 expansion port, basically. It's got I guess, I don't know, it's got it's not clear. I think it has a 60 to 100 chip, but it runs at like 7, 14, 28, 42 megahertz or something like that. And CF card on it. So thought about maybe getting one of those, but
we'll have to. I think somebody's supposed to be making accelerator for your CD32s.
Yeah.
I saw one of those was coming out.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat. That seems to be that would be the way to go. Standalone. It's much simpler than wires coming out. I mean, Empire, they get wires hanging out.
Someone's going to create a 3D printable
I'm sure
case
someone will come out with a mini 500 case.
It looked like a big.
Even a regular 500 case, like maybe like a 600 case with a keyboard. Something portable with a HDMI output plug or something like that.
Like a miniature 1000.
Yeah, like a miniature 1000. But if you had like a 600, that would be your keyboard right there. Keyboard, so that seems like the way to go.
See, they're calling the processor they created was 68080.
Right, I heard that.
And they now have reached in test the speed of 600 megahertz.
Is that's what they're calling it? It's not an actual chip, though, is it?
Yeah, well, like he was telling you, they went in there and looked at all the stuff Motorola had done.
Right.
Figured out what a 68080 would be. The next step. It would be the next leap.
Right.
Even though Motorola just for leaps,
yeah.
The odd ones were like enhancements of the previous ones. So
right.
What would be the 68080? What did Motorola maybe had their plans? So they can create it. That's why I could say that one of the things they're talking about is they can actually bring out the old AA and AAA chipset that the Commodore was supposedly working on before they decided to create the AGA chipset. They can go in and they can implement that in it. And if anybody says it shouldn't be running this way, it should be running this way, they just change it.
Change the software. And
they FPGA chip, do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
The fact that this recreating a CPU and the 3 custom chips and plus all the other little chips that we had on one chip, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They have them all running parallel and they can run whatever speed they need to run. So it's
pretty neat.
Well, what else we want to talk about?
Are there any like projects or anything like that that the group works on, or anything like that, or any kind of show and tell, or that kind of thing? Anyway.
Just a little bit of everything. I mean, we quite frequently, if somebody has a mobile machine they're trying to get up and running again and having problems with, we'll take a look at it and see what we can do. And
Right.
Well, the other guy from Burleson, if he was here, he's trying to recreate the Amiga 4000. He's got a bare motherboard that's just been recently created.
No way.
He's going to go in and put all the stuff on himself.
Yeah, you're populating with chips, capacitors,
Oh, okay.
resistors, and everything. So he brought that in. Yeah,
Yeah, that's something he's working on.
he's got it with 5,000 or
Yeah, he had that. He's got the X5000, Amiga 1 X5000.
already brought that in.
Put that in. Since I can take it out of the car and put it in a desktop case.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you have something you want to bring in or show, yeah.
If there's something you want to see.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's the machine you sold to Greg?
I gave it to him.
Well,
Yeah, that G5.
yeah, running
Morpho S.
Morpho S.
Mm. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi thing is cool.
Yeah, that's a nice way to emulate the Amiga.
Mm-hmm.
It is fast.
Yeah, very fast, small,
Yeah.
easy to hook up. I mean, you have HDMI, you can hook up a screen to rather than fool around it. On something that sinks down that low. So it works out really well. I've got one. Johnny's got one. It's nice.
One of the things I really wish that I was exchanging emails with Johnny about between the last meeting and this one is, I really wish when I was running, emulating the Amiga on the Raspberry Pi, there was a way whereby I could get back, switch between the Amiga emulation screen and the basic Raspberry Pi screen. So that if I needed to do something that the Amiga couldn't do, well, like surf the internet, if you will, that I could switch back to this and use the internet browser here, and then when I was done, switch back to the Amiga screen and continue right on from where I was going. But I haven't figured out a way to do that yet.
For some reason, they haven't implemented it, I don't think. Because it is in Windows. Windows, you can do it. I can find that out. It's not put into the Linux for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. But it would be nice to be able to swap it back and forth.
It uses too much resources, maybe. I don't know.
With one guy, we doing Win UAE to UAE for on.
Right.
Looks like he's like 4 or 5 versions back. Just read a thing where they're using JavaScript to recreate all the emulations and stuff. And the exciting thing about it is you could write a browser or anything in this, and then it'll run on any machine that's running JavaScript, regardless of what architecture it is. Intel, RPC, ARM processor. And the real advantage, I think I was amazed was just if you had local processors or single processor, it'll use it automatically. There's even, the guys that put a whole stack of Raspberry Pis together, so make what they call a cluster. And I kept wondering, I get to find a use I would have for that. But using that JavaScript, all of them would work together to run whatever you're running to that. So you just need more processing power. Go ahead and buy a $35 Raspberry Pi, add it to the stack. Keep adding on there until you got whatever you furnish it for. They've already short things, browsers, games. They run like Quake 3 running on the Raspberry Pi. It's gorgeous. It's really amazing. That's what it was.
Is that one
Just-
Raspberry Pi or a multiple one?
It was, yeah, just one, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's using that just-in-time thing that they use, where it just converts the code on the fly, or just gets it done just as it needs it. That's why it can run on multiple architectures. So we already talked of doing that for the Amiga. Everybody really wants, I think, is I wish that Amiga OS 4 or 4.1 be recompiled for the own processor. They could do that. A whole bunch of machines out there, some of them Amiga OS. So you have a whole lot more people looking at it and thinking about it and doing things with it.
Are they working in version 4?
Oh, 4.1 is out. If you get one of the new Amiga, like that was here, it was 5,000. If I look it up and show you, it was 4.1 release. So we've got the Amiga X 1000 and the Amiga X 5000 being made. There's a guy here who was living here in Texas back many years. He was from New Zealand. He was really inspired by the Amiga when he was living here. He really got hooked on it. And now he's acquired all of the Amiga stuff. He's in charge of it. He's beyond having new Amigas built. He calls it the Amiga One. Got Power PC processors and takes modern latest graphic cards. And it's like the Amigas, but it's kind of split in a different direction. We've got the Morph OS, we got the Amiga OS 4.1, we got AOS, we got the emulator thing. There's probably more people using Amigas now than there ever was back in the past. And yet many of them never have seen the real, probably never touched a real Amiga.
So do you have the Amigas then, or currently?
Yeah, in a box.
In a box?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a 2000. And still I still have two 2000s. But, and then of course, 64, you know, I mean, that was just for general Commodore stuff, you know.
Right.
So, like I said. And picked up one of those Commodore Minis, you know, recently that they released. So. They're supposed to be, like I said, they're supposed to be releasing a Commodore 64 again, or somebody that's doing that. So, and it's more related to that. But yeah, absolutely. So I just always was a big Commodore fan from way back. So.
All right.
So somewhere up there in the world was a big, huge pile of new Amiga 1000s that some guy created. He did such a good job. He made the box that comes in look like the original Amiga 1000 box. Got it all set up, got them all manufactured, all ready to sell, and the guy died. Now they're in limbo. Well, someone tries to figure out who owns them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Was there a new 1000?
Yeah, it's like you look at it, it's definitely good. You can see some minor differences, but when you set the boxes, the original box and his box size, it's like, wow, I guess he had to adjust it a little bit for logo or copyright or something, but he did a wonderful job. And he got supposedly everything was ready to go. He's got like 10,000 of them made, and all of a sudden he died. Now it's sitting there, some warehouse somewhere while someone tries to figure out who owns those.
But these are the original Amiga 1000.
Newly made.
Okay, but
they look like the original 1000.
They have all the 1000 original.
What would it run? I mean, would it? I mean, the Amiga 1000 basically, you know, it was
kind of a dead end.
Kind of a dead end, yeah. I mean,
the 2000 at least.
So you really
expandable.
didn't.
I'm sure he's updated it, some of the stuff. I mean, it's probably on a card or memory or something. It maybe be, and it seemed like it was using new hardware, like an ARM processor or something. Raspberry Pi.
The case looked like the
It's
1000.
a case, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the kid sitting there and look at it, it looked the same, the keyboard, slid up underneath it like the old 1000 did. And we duplicated the box really well. And just as it was all ready to go, he passed away. They were even something saying, "Where are they at? Where are the computers at?"
Probably some warehouse in the Philippines.
Or China.
Isn't where the
Well,
Philippines
there was
is.
a company in Norway who was building, and they finished a machine was like the 1200L. It ran the ARM processor. It was going to, all this. The running it would be just like running a 1200, and then someone threw a monkey wrench in their work. It was about the copyright of this or that, and now that's all stuck. It's like every time we need, just like something might get going, and something messes up, and nature steps in. And
Stupid copyright.
Yes.
And there's also Amiga Forever. Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah, it's basically for PC's emulation for the Amiga. I've got a version. In fact, they just updated it from version 7 to version 8. I haven't purchased the update, but it'll run on your PC.
How recent was that upgrade to version 8?
Just a week or two ago.
Yeah,
I think it was just before the New Year. I think between Christmas and New Year's.
Well, does it have 3.14 in it?
I don't think so.
That's gonna be a toughie. They've been trying to kill that from two different directions.
I know I got an email from Quanto, the Italian company that runs it, Amiga Forever, stating that it was a limited time. I could purchase for, I think it was $59, a lifetime subscription or lifetime updates for Amiga Forever. Or it was, I think, $19 to upgrade from version 7 to version 8. But I had version 1 for the longest time. I wasn't really running it. I really had run it some, but I think probably about 6 months ago, I went ahead and upgraded, I think it was like $19 or something like that, to the latest version, which was 7. And then, like I said, they just came out with I don't think it has 3.1. I hadn't really looked at it too close. Not sure what the difference is, what they changed at all. But
If it had that in it, I'd be willing to buy it just so that I could get a ROM that this thing wouldn't pick up on.
I kind of doubt it, but I didn't really look at it too close yet. I hadn't had a chance to. But they came out with a letter since I guess I upgraded not that long ago. I didn't do it, but.
But you get a letter or an email?
It was an email.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an email letter.
Yeah.
Basically a text. No fancy. It was basically, it was almost, it's just a text or whatever,
I don't know that I got one of those, but maybe that might be because they don't have my latest email address, since I lost my email address.
Should be, yeah. It was probably about 2 weeks ago. It was about 2 weeks ago or so. Today's like the 12th. Maybe 2.5 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I was just being impressed with some of the tracker software.
Well, also, besides Amiga Forever, it was also said, if you're interested in the Commodore 64, that at the time they're running a special, you could upgrade. It was Amiga Forever and C64 Forever too. A C64 emulator. But I guess a combination one, I don't know, maybe I have the C64 one too, but I've never played with it. I used to have one C64, but I went to when I went to the Amiga way back when, I just never kind of went back to the C64 that much. Sold my hardware and bought an Amiga 500.
Yeah.
It was back in 89 or 90 or something.
I noticed I already came across there was some Atari people who said they're going to probably do 4 standalone. So they can recreate the Atari ST. Make it run processors that never had access to it. Never had a 60 or 40 or 60.
Right.
Or 60.
Yeah, I think you could reprogram it. You could reprogram it to that. Yeah.
We were probably thinking do with Jaguar, which had two 68,000s. And they got chip emulate the two 68,000s ready. Or someone said, well, we could do that for the Amiga.
Weren't they using was it the Jaguar or was it a Lynx? They had a Lynx or something too? And weren't they using an Amiga to do the development on for that?
Yeah.
I think. If I remember.
They use the Amiga for that and the Amiga for another video game system, which actually had so many people who developed the Amiga worked on it. Oh, Neo Geo, yeah.
Neo Geo?
Yeah. Actually, people who worked on the Amiga worked on it, create some of the chips, create some of the kind of, and then they use the Amiga to develop games for it. Neo Geo was pretty impressive, but man, it was expensive. When it came out, it was like the early 90s, almost $700, which was ridiculous for a game console.
Yeah.
Has anybody got a pet still?
No, I lost a sort of pet.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
I do not. I might pick one up if I ever run across one. So.
Well, the Club we were originally a Commodore Club way back when. I first joined when I had my C64 as a Commodore Club, and I think I let my membership last for a year or so. And then when I bought my Amiga, I joined back up again. For a while, we had both Amiga and C64 chapters back in the late 80s, early 90s or something. And so, sure, I don't know. I had a C64. I never had a Big 20 or anything like that. But there's someone, one of our club members, long ago they did.
Remember using them in school. Lots of them. And what I would love to find is one of the luggable C64s.
We had one here about 5, 6 months ago. Bill still had it.
Yeah.
You still got one?
Bill had it, yeah. No one wanted to take it home.
No one wanted it.
Really?
No, we've had like 3 people now saying, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, exactly. That's just an interesting little piece of hardware.
It is, yeah. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
The first time I heard about it, I was like, what company gonna do something like that? You sure they made something like that?
I remember back in the day even when they made it, yeah. I think your watch has 20 times its processing power.
Oh, yeah.
Still not even compact, wasn't it?
No. Pretty heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know really how heavy it was, but yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see the things that they're doing to kind of keep it alive. And it's like, is it just for playing games, or are people wanting to do things? I mean, productivity with it, or
games. I think the games are attractive. through Google. And there's so many from the Amiga that people get like, wow, look at all them games you're playing.
Nostalgia. There are some people that still do, I think, productivity selling a lot. Ned, is that basically you're using the Raspberry Pi to do a lot of your stuff? Still?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I have a few applications that I wrote myself that I use on the Amiga side. That's what's to one of mine. I got a program that I use to keep track of my checking account. Customized it just for me, and it works just like I want it to. Makes it easy to keep track of all my checks and the balance and statement at the end of the month.
But you run it on your Amiga, you run it on your Raspberry Pi now, or?
Yeah, I run it on my
Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, run it on the Raspberry Pi, yeah.
Yeah. Because you have, what, a 4000? You still have, what is it, one Amiga 1?
I sold my Amiga 1 to Ken.
Okay, you did, okay.
Yeah. But I've got a 4000, a 2000, a 1200.
Yeah. I've got a 500, a 1200, CD32, and an Amiga 3000 tower. Which the tower's not really running right now. And really don't use them, the other computers, that much. The Raspberry Pi I use more so.
Yeah. One of my projects at the moment is okay. The Raspberry Pi, it's very nice. Well, running the Amiga on the Raspberry Pi is very nice in the sense that the Amiga side basically automatically inherits the clock from the Raspberry Pi. This thing doesn't have a battery in it, but apparently, I don't know how it works, but apparently whenever I turn the thing on, the Raspberry Pi connects to the internet and discovers what time it is.
Right, yeah.
You know, and the Amiga automatically knows what time it is without having to have a battery in it. And the Amiga side also, once again, don't know how it does it, but I mean, the Amiga side inherits access to the internet.
Mm-hmm. And printers.
And printers. I never have gotten that to work.
You probably haven't got something separate.
Well, maybe so.
I know I used it. One of the printers hooked up to that machine, and if it recognizes it, which Linux won't recognize about anything, the Amiga will print to it.
Well, I have, from the Linux side, I can print just fine, but I've never figured out how to get my Amiga side to print.
You have to use that little PS thing I showed you.
That little PS thing. That little PS thing.
Yeah, it's PostScript initializer.
I don't remember you talking about.
I showed it to you. It's like a printer driver, except it's called PS. So PS.
Okay. Okay.
And then when the Amiga calls print, it sends it to that, and that sends it to the Linux side. Linux then takes that PostScript and converts it over to the whatever printer you get up there.
Is this a piece of software?
They came with Amiga Forever.
Oh, they came with Amiga Forever.
Yeah. That's how they make it print.
Okay. Well, maybe I do need to look at that because I was working on developing my own way to do that. Print from the Amiga side.
Even when I had Windows on it, it worked good. All you do is just start putting in Epson or HP or whatever printer driver, you just put that in and selected it, and whenever the Amiga went to print it sent it to that, and that automatically connected to the others. Out of the company, start printing on the printer. And that way you can use any printers right there around, even the latest, greatest one that the Amiga has. Real Amiga never had drivers for it.
What do you do on the Raspberry Pi side of the house? Anything?
Well, yeah, it's like plug and play. You know, it's like Windows. Just plug it in, because Linux has all the printer drivers in the kernel. So it knows once it sees what printing is. Yep.
I never knew that Linux had all that stuff buried in it.
Yeah. A lot of people, one of the things that Linux people like to do is they get the kernel, take it in, remove all the stuff they think they'll never need, and just shrink the kernel down to much more manageable size.
Well, that's why I went with this. That's why I went with that's why I went with this version of the Raspberry Pi operating system and not Ambien, because I wanted all that other stuff automatically built into it. But, well, I have the Raspberry Pi side printing from Linux. But in order to do that, I had to install something called CUPS, Common Unix Printing System or something like that. And I had to tell that what printer I was connected to.
So what is this running right now? What desktop?
That is one.
Or what is this? I mean, is this Raspbian?
Raspbian, yes,
Okay, so
yes,
just
Raspbian, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is, I think, a version of Debian.
Yeah.
Debian. Or Debian, yeah.
Is this one? What is it? It's not. Jesse was the last one. The Stretch.
Yeah, you're right. You would come on. It's just Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was is it not in alphabetical order? Is this one Stretch? I think the latest, that's what I was trying to figure out. The latest one was Stretch. So,
Stretch, that's right.
Yeah, Stretch.
Stretch.
Toy Story characters. Yeah.
It's sort of different wild days where all of them have now since the other two started that. Probably just my numbers. Version 10, version 9.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Sleeping Llama.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize the numbers that they were using was just the month and year there.
Right. Yeah.
In reverse.
Or European style.
They always have an update in April and October. So.
Yeah. Androids, confections, and Raspbians or Toy Story characters.
Well, let me ask you this: along those lines, have any of you all ever upgraded your Raspberry Pi operating system to a later version? Yeah. What do I have to do that? I mean, is it?
It's you could do it by command line. So you put that sudo get update install
Of the sudo apt-get
or
update.
Going to the little update thing. They got a thing for updating software and everything. Just have a search for it. And it's in let's see.
Oh, okay.
Add the new software. Let's see, we'll come to not update anything.
System. Okay.
If we're up, are we online? Yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Just going through and check and see what's new. Make a new list for you. See if there's something you're looking for. This is the recommended way for updating anything in Linux.
Okay.
And when you're getting something that's safe and you want to try different browsers, probably several of them to try out.
And yet, okay, to update the operating system, I'd go down there to system though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If I do that, is it going to, I guess it's going to overwrite whatever I have there. Am I gonna have to worry about backing it up before I do it? I mean, I probably will, but I mean.
As many times as I've done it in the past, it never messed up anything I had done.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah, I used to have Ubuntu. I used to run that, play around with that, and I just did it that way, and I never had any problems. But I was just playing, and I never really had anything I really wanted to keep. If I lost everything, it wasn't a
so
big
when you
deal.
see a check mark, there's an update. So you did all sorts of an update to the file system. Look for that. You can see we got a huge amount of stuff in it.
Way too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Another thing is, if you know what you're looking for, if you're looking for certain things, you can type in search through all these for whatever. We were looking for a video player a while ago. You could probably find one in here.
Yeah. Music players.
But this is a way for updating anything in Linux. That's yeah, I don't even have check marks on them and updated, but you are.
I usually just update them.
Yeah, they'll do that too. We just type in sudo get this or that.
So I think it's a little more, I think there's a little bit more, like if you're gonna actually do an OS update, I think there's a little more.
Yeah, you want to get the latest kernel or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it replaces a bunch of other stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it almost seems like it's easier to just get you another card and
Start
put the new one on there,
yeah,
put the new one on there fresh.
Yeah, that's one thing you can do if you're worried about messing anything up. You can just start a whole new install on.
Well, I mean, before I did something like that, I would certainly back up my card.
Yeah.
Right. That could be your Amiga stuff. Yeah.
Well, the whole card.
Yeah, that too. Cards are cheap.
Mm-hmm. I back up my whole card right every other day.
There you go. But,
okay. I'll have to play around with that then. Let me ask you this question. Those of you using these Raspberry Pi, anybody ever been able to get it to print to a printer wirelessly?
It should. It should. Yeah, it should. It's got Wi-Fi.
I understand that, but I can print it via Ethernet just fine, but I can print it via USB just fine, but I've never been able to get my Raspberry Pi to communicate wirelessly to my printer.
Well, I really use your wireless.
I got wireless on my printer, but I just never used it. I just all
Mm-hmm.
hardwired, either Ethernet or USB, and so I've never tried. I know like there's a driver there. I have the option, but I just never done it. From hardwired, I prefer hardwired rather than wireless. It's old-fashioned.
See if it's Bluetooth. I know you have to add a device to the printer. Bluetooth.
This has got some kind of airprint emulation. And they became the Raspberry Pi user group.
Let's do it. Neat little device.
Yeah, we can do everything with it.
You still got to separate and play the game?
Hmm?
You still got to separate and play that game? Remember one of the flying saucers and stuff?
Which game was that?
I set it up for play a game.
Oh, the
What's Gallagher?
What's Gallagher, yeah.
probably. I mean, I can't remember. Caps lock. One thing I love about the hear about case. I think that's what that means. Is there somewhere?
I don't see it. I didn't see it.
No, it doesn't. I guess that's on my.
Okay. Still got the Amiga inside?
I don't know if I have the chip with me or not. I guess I don't have that little chip with me, I'm afraid. Sorry.
I set it up for playing Tough Guy. I have it set for Amiga 1200, running with 2 meg of chip RAM. And you just double click that. And the Tough Guy will start after running on Amiga 1200.
The Amiga hardware is just becoming so old now that, you know, things like the Raspberry Pi are just simpler and easier to use. You know, just get a lot of running 30-year-old plus hardware.
Yeah, the processor really 1.2 gigahertz.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the old 60 running 60 megahertz was fast.
Do you have a Raspberry Pi 2 or?
Yeah, a couple of them lying around. I got a web server running on one, or my, and then, some other, little, great little project devices. You know.
Right. Media server.
Now I'll have to do one for the Amiga.
Yeah, so you haven't done the Amiga yet?
Not yet. No, I haven't done it on that one. So,
Yeah.
one more thing to add to it.
Yeah, download all this stuff from the internet, so.
Because you can, the cluster, I mean, like you're talking about the clusters, I mean, they're good because you can have a web server on one and a database, your database server on the other. Just 2 little devices.
Yeah.
And then you can 3D print your cases. So.
I saw this Bitcoin miner. This guy set up, used Raspberry Pis, he bought a warehouse building with a metal shell in it, and he just filled them all up with Raspberry Pis. Put 1,700 of them. He said the reason he chose it, use the F, because of the lower power consumption, where other computers would be so very more. He just had them in there running, mining the Bitcoin store.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been fun to get into back when it all started.
Oh, yeah. I remember that goes story, the guy who wanted to test it out, so he sent 10,000 bitcoins to someone in his house, order a pizza and had it delivered to a place. Well, the guy didn't know what to do with 10,000 bits, so I hung on to it. That was back when they were 60 cents each.
Right. Yeah.
He said he still has 8,000 of them, but.
Yeah. I'm hearing stories about people, digging through landfills trying to find their hard drives, their old hard drives.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Their wallets on.
A friend of mine just bought, about 15 years ago, somewhere it was, came out, he bought $60 worth, which came to like 0.28 bitcoins. And he said right now, I think he said he's just hitting around $800 on his
The next week it could be, a third of that.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, it'd be.
So if you look though, and even though it's joined up the time, it's like going like this.
Well, I've got to get to Sam's, but it's a
Okay.
pleasure meeting you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Come anytime.
it's nice that nice to know that y'all are close by and couldn't resist trying it out.
Okay, Jerry Layton.
Yep.
Jerry
L8N.
Yahoo.com. Okay.
Related.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you see it.
Come anytime. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah, definitely add me on there and so we can see what's going on.
At the moment,
Like I said, first meeting, so I was like, oh, see what's
we are scheduled in this room on the second Saturday of every month for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Then we go out afterwards, we go eat dinner someplace around here just to have a board member meeting, but everybody's invited. We just used to be a member of the board, now I just whatever. But just go out and talk and whatever.
Yeah.
You're invited to that too if you want to.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you much. Yeah, are y'all, so you're not all from Burleson, are you?
No, I
No.
live in Cedar Hill.
Oh, Cedar Hill, okay.
Bill lives in Cedar Hill.
Arlington, yeah.
Arlington.
You're in Arlington, yeah.
Used to live in Arlington. My wife's family's from here, so yeah, I grew up in Arlington, so that's it. She finally wore me down after after the kids moved out. She was like, I'm gonna go move closer to my parents. I was like, oh.
And the meeting we had here in November, I was going to think this table wasn't going to be big enough. We had people all the way up.
Oh, really? Okay.
And all kinds of equipment sitting here.
Oh, yeah. Good. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Comes and goes, so yeah, hopefully next time. A friend of mine is really he was into Amiga, so he had pretty good little Amiga 2000 with emulator, built in hard drive. He had it tricked out. So he never had a toaster. That was one thing I always wanted and never got was a toaster. Do some video stuff.
Yeah, we've had a few toaster systems brought in and people trying to sell them and stuff.
Yeah, you just need the right person for it, that's all.
Yeah, we had a guy show up once, he had a truckload of maybe stuff he bought somewhere and trying to sell it. Everybody was buying things from him.
Was that in Grand Prairie when you had
Yeah, he heard about how to be there, so he showed up and
call him up, tell him to come back.
I think he bought it like a yard sale or state sale.
I think it's state sale.
Yeah, 1,000, Amiga 1,000, 2,000, or 4,000, 3,000.
Yeah, I remember that. Like I said, that Commodore country that used to be out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he and I went there several times. Yeah.
Went there quite a number of times, yeah.
That wasn't too far out.
That's good.
Yeah, so they
is he still around?
I don't think so. It's been
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but
15
it'll work.
years, probably 20 years,
15,
yeah.
20
It's
years.
been long,
Still, forgot what his name was.
Yeah.
Heard of that, no.
His main business was that milk business he ran in there.
Yeah. It was just on the side, yeah.
I know first time I went there, we were right at that corner, there was a camera factory on the roof of that building.
Yeah.
And he had that little rooms packed. I mean, 2 stories of it. Everywhere you was stepping around and stepping over weed and stuff.
All right, we done plug this head, right? Can we done plug?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, good. So, where have y'all found to go out and eat around here?
They helped back.
Yeah.
That's what we thought last
So we
time.
went last time?
Yeah.
Here, last-
Two
No, that's
places
where,
so far.
that's where we were planning on going today.
That's fine, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say that just as suggestions,
Yeah.
you know, there's like right down here, when you go right this road here and take a right on Renfro, you're getting into Old Town Burleson.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's a really good Mexican food place, Fresco's. It's really good.
Goodbye.
Grump's Burgers.
Mhm.
It's just right there.